Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Do you remember in the 1980s there were mixtapes? Do you remember that in the 80s and 90s, into the early 90s perhaps? Maybe even past that. Audio tapes, cassette tapes, mixtapes with various songs we would mix together. Sometimes people would record from the radio. Sometimes people would have a double deck called a double tape deck, stereo. We would record from one tape and then make a mixtape with a whole bunch of different songs that we liked and play them in a Walkman or give them to a friend or a girlfriend or make a mixtape for someone. Well, this is a mix video. A mix video. Okay? New concept. I'm going to be jumping around in this video. Bunch of different things. A mixture. So here's some comments from my most recent Esoterica series video. The Prophet Live, Felix wrote, Viking strong. I am always grateful to hear King Stephen speaking truth, authentic and unscripted. Yes, thank you. Louise wrote, within seconds of meeting you, I knew I had found real truth. I see that this is a hell realm, and the kill switch must be triggered to save all good spirits. It is the morally right thing to do. And you, Stephen, in quotes, have the shoulders for it. Yes, and that's based on something that Bextra Large, that big beast, said. I got the shoulders for this. She's very wide, but Bextra Large cannot take the truth. She can't handle it. And Louise continued, and I will always be by your side. Always. Mad love. Thank you, Louise. You're a beautiful spirit. And I'm glad that you're part of my team. Nick wrote, beautiful madness. Low IQ, disloyal, empty, demonic husks belong here, and I stand with the Raven King in Team Truth. Thank you very much, Nick. These are just a few comments. There's more comments, and I suggest that people once in a while, if you have time, go through my videos and read the comments on my recent Esoterica series to see what other people are saying. It's inspiring. It's uplifting. These other channels talk about being positive, but all they do is kind of copy, mimic, repeat after each other, follow each other. If somebody attacks and then somebody defends themselves, they usually kick off the person defending themselves. They can't take it. They're not honest. They're not authentic. They're just not. They're not. And I have some real authentic spirits on my channel, some authentic beings. And I truly appreciate that. Especially in a realm such as this that is so false, so fake. There's so many fake, phony beings in this realm, and you all know it. The core group, my team, the regulars, moderators, everyone who's been on my channel paying attention knows, because you observe it, you encounter it in this realm. There's a bunch of fakes and phonies, and by a bunch, I'm talking about the vast, vast majority are that way. They're so fake and phony and inauthentic and duplicitous and two-faced. They're such turncoats and chameleons and liars, and they wear masks, and they're narcissists, and they're creepy creatures. So when you find good spirits, and I've said this many times, I know I've said this before, but hang on to them. Keep them close. Don't let them go, even if they don't see as much as you do. The primary quality should be, are they a good spirit? Are they a good being? Good to you, good to others? Are they someone that you say, I cherish them, even if they don't see this? Even if they have veils in front of their eyes and they can't see this hell realm and they can't see the mass migration, there's a whole bunch of agendas that the average normie can't see. Now, I'm not saying, hey, they're fucking stupid idiots, or I'm just saying they can't see it. No matter what we show them. And I know it can be frustrating. I went through that for many years ago. And I'm just, in a sense, I've moved on past that mind space, and that I don't try anymore with any family at all. Now, if I see any hint that somebody in so-called real life in person is open to these ideas or opening their mind, then I will gently, slowly try to bring up certain things and say, hey, what do you think? What do you think happens after death? What are your thoughts? What's your belief, or what's your view? What do you think is going to happen? I'll try to open the door that way. But I'm saying, for the most part, I don't get into this with most people. And if I have a good person in my life that doesn't want to hear about any of these things, I've come to terms with it and say that's fine. Not just to them. I'm not saying that's fine in a mean way. I'm saying it in my own head. I'll say it to myself. That's fine. They're not ready for this. I can't force it. And you can't force it. We can't force this upon them. If they're a good spirit, just love them as they are. Just try to do that. I know it's not easy, because you wish they would understand. I realize that. But maybe one day you'll get past that to the point of saying, I love them. They're probably never in this lifetime going to understand it. Maybe one day they will. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will have to be helped by us and set free by us. Maybe that's our job. And they just can't do it. And it's just that simple. If it was a child, and I remember my nieces got stuck up a tree one time. They climbed up a tree. Then they called out for help. And I'm their uncle. But this was many years ago when they were children. They're not children anymore. They're grown. But they were up a tree. And it was some big old 40-year-old spruce trees. So they were very tall. And I had to help them. They couldn't get down on their own. 2 girls, one at a time, I helped them, guide them down, and had my arm around one niece, guided her down, told the other one, just hang on, I'll climb back up to get you. Because they couldn't get their footing, and they just couldn't do it. They got scared. But they used to love climbing trees. But they couldn't do it. Now, I didn't yell at them and say, hey, you dumb kids, or hey, you stupid girls, or hey, what's wrong with you? You climbed up and you can't get yourselves down. You're on your own. Do it. I didn't want them to fall and crack their head open on the ground. Obviously, I cared for them. And I wanted to make sure that they got down safely. I didn't fault them for being young kids, getting themselves into a situation. They did the right thing, calling out for help. Saying, help, we can't get down. We're stuck. We climbed up too high and we don't know how to get down. Good thing I was also a tree climber when I was a kid. So their uncle was able to climb trees to help them out. And if that wasn't going to work, I would have gotten a ladder and gotten them down that way. But I didn't complain. I didn't bitch about it. I didn't get angry. I didn't get angry or cross with them. I tried to be patient and understanding, and it's understandable that children get themselves into situations sometimes and they need help from an adult. Sometimes teenagers, sometimes full-grown 25, 35, 45-year-old adults need help. That's the way it is, okay? So there's times that I've helped people out that weren't children and they needed help. Their car slid off the road in the wintertime and they were in a ditch. They needed help. They needed somebody to help push their car out. I'm someone that likes to help others. Now I know the panelverse would disagree because they form a view of someone in split seconds and then they hang on to it through their bias and the rumors they hear, and they're also not very intelligent people. Intelligent people don't form these rash judgments and don't go by paranoia and bias and rumors and gossip and all the shit of the panelverse. That's for the demonverse. That's for losers. But regular intelligent beings can understand that I am someone that does like to help others. And I understand spiritually people need help. They can't see what this is. They can't find their way out on their own. They can't see where they are. All right? So try to be understanding with your loved ones and say, they're not bad. They're not evil. They're not worthless just because they can't see that this is a hell realm and understand how it works. Some of them could be very loving normies. And they're difficult to find. Any loving being that's truly loving, considerate, trustworthy, affectionate, loyal, caring is hard to find in this realm, if you think about it. Some of you are starting to realize that. I'm not faulting you, but some of you are realizing it at 30, 35, 40, 50, and you're saying, you know what? He's speaking the truth. They're not abundant. They're not all around us. Most people you find will betray you and be disloyal and be abusive and not trustworthy and all sorts of things. They might do evil to you. They might be physically abusive. They might cheat on you. They might betray you in other ways. Go behind your back and totally betray you. They might lie about you and get you locked up in jail or something. And you're innocent. There's all kinds of things going on in this place. And I'm trying to make you understand, wait a second, I found one of the good ones. So hang on to them. Keep them close and dear. That's my advice. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you take that advice, because there's nothing bad about that advice. If you found one of the good ones, keep them, appreciate them, love them, cherish them. Don't take them for granted. They're very rare in this place. And as time goes on, you might come to understand just how rare that is. It's the way it is here. Oh, that's a beluga, Polly. Beluga Polly. I didn't know how you got in here. What's going on? Beluga Polly showed up. If you saw the Jack Talcott show earlier, Paul called himself a beluga whale that surfaces.
So last night I was talking to a group of guys, and apparently when I walked away, they were like nicknaming me Tits. They were like, where'd Tits go? Where's Tits? And while I don't condone men calling women by anything other than their name, yeah, I paid 10 grand for these. You can call me Tits, and I'll have a fucking smile on my face. Yeah, I'm Tits now.
That's interesting, because the rule is don't call a woman anything other than her name, but she will allow you to break that rule because she likes the attention that her plastic surgery has gotten her.
If somebody said to me, would you rather be with like a short king who's 5'5" and treats you amazing?
Well, I don't like this chick right off the bat. There's something about her, her energy. Also, she's got like dirt and hair and stuff on her clothing. Her top is just like, yeah, I know it's a black or very dark colored top, but there's something that comes across with this chick, and I don't trust her. The dead-eyed look, I don't trust her right off the bat. I don't know what she's going to say, but I don't trust her. Sometimes I like doing these react in the moment videos, and that's part of this mix video.
Amazing and loves you? Or would you rather be with like a short king who's 5'5" and treats you amazing and loves you? Or would you be with a toxic man who's 6'3"? At this point in my life, I would be like, how toxic? How toxic are we talking?
Okay, so the rule is don't be toxic, but maybe it's okay if you're tall. Okay, I think I'm starting to sense a pattern.
You get to be hot and broke, or you get to be ugly and rich. Those are the only two options.
All right. I think I understand now. On the surface, this seems like double standards. Like we have caught women in their hypocrisy. So you're thinking, all right, how are they going to avoid accountability here? How are they going to weasel their way out of this one? Because these double standards, they don't seem justifiable. But consider this. What if women don't actually need to justify themselves? That's what you would need to do as a man if you were being a hypocrite. But what if women have cleverly positioned themselves in a completely different paradigm? They have moved into into a different space where your demands for accountability and consistency can't reach them? And what if that space is actually the hidden source of women's power? Now, when I say power, it's obvious what I'm talking about when speaking to you as a man. You're thinking building, working, your power comes from creating stuff. You feel powerful when you're winning, you're beating the competition, you're rising above others. The most powerful man is the man who is the strongest and the smartest. It's very clean, it's very straightforward. We're talking about a meritocracy. But did you ever consider that women looked at men playing that game and they realized that they could not win? Women could not outcompete men in that kind of a contest. They can't use superior strength to win out against men. They're not going to be able to out-engineer them. From the woman's point of view, being asked to play that game, that feels unfair. A meritocracy discriminates against their femininity. Why would they play a losing game? And so women did something that's extremely clever. They set themselves up outside of the game. They declared themselves to not be players, but judges. They're not going to compete. That's not their role. Their role is to evaluate who is the winner. And by placing themselves in that position, they became infinitely more powerful. Because consider, who is actually more powerful, the person who's wearing the crown or the person who decides who wears the crown? Understand, female power does not come from creation, but from selection. She thinks, I don't need to build a kingdom. I just need to position myself so that I'm the one who decides who gets to enter this kingdom. I will be the judge of who is worthy. Do you understand? This is the core male-female divide. Men want to win the game, and women want the power to decide who gets to win the game. And I hope that it is obvious to say that it is not in men's best interest to have women positioned as judges, as the ones who get to decide the winner. Men and women's interests are at odds with each other. Imagine a committee of men and women sitting down to decide the rules of the game. The men want to get started, so they want the rules to be clear, fair, simple.
All right, I think you get it. That was kind of interesting.
So quickly, Paul. Let's not
I'm just
overlook
busting
that.
her chops.
Good
At the
job.
core of it,
I
I've
know.
never really had an issue with her beyond the
No.
truth. And if she
I
has an
know.
issue with the truth, then that reflects on her. And the same for me, right? We all have our walk and our judgment with God. I have nothing personal with anyone beyond a certain point, right? That has to do with the truth of how we're living. We can change that any time is the good news, I guess.
Yep.
Believe it or not.
I know. It's crazy.
Easier said than done, though, right?
Until it's done, and then you realize, fuck, that was easy. He doesn't want to hear it from probably you or me, but seriously, Tom, if you find a way to forgive Rose, forgive me.
I love it. I'm so glad that we're reminiscing. And then I found out that people were poking holes. So it's just the usual.
It's because I'm done, at least lately. I'm not going to claim what I'll never do again because I've said it before and I've been wrong. But I'm done lately with the yelling and the screaming, the spinning, the twisting, the power fucking games, and all the rest of it.
You're not done. You're a liar, Paul. Paulie, you're a liar. You're not done.
Just don't need it. It's not
No.
productive or beneficial to my body and my healing process or my co-creational experience. Right. So if Tommy wants to go everywhere and be Christian and lie, why don't you tell the whole story? Oh, you can't because you cut me off last night after you asked me to come over to have a conversation, threw me out and set your own narrative. If
Everybody, I'm
If
here
I
to
make-
clarify that your false narrative.
It, and I agree, man. That's what you need. It's not healthy to be like Tommy. He's a great example of don't be that like that. Don't be so angry all the time, man.
Yeah. After
Or
all
just
Tom
own the
said it, I just
position.
wanna-
actual favors, is this true? All right, I'm doing the bit. The point is, Jack, he's spinning and twisting again. I'll go anywhere. We can talk truth, spirituality, philosophy. I talk it with the devil, right? The reason I don't come up here, even though I may agree with some of his perspectives about people that frequent this place, is because I'm done, at least lately. I'm not going to claim what I'll never do again because I've said it before and I've been wrong. But I'm done lately with the yelling and the screaming, the spinning, the twisting, the power fucking games, and all the rest of it. I just don't need it. It's not
No.
productive or beneficial to my body and my healing process or my co-creational experience. right? So if Tommy wants to go everywhere and be Christian and lie, why don't you tell the whole story? Oh, you can't because you cut me off last night after you asked me to come over to have a conversation, threw me out and set your own narrative. If I can finish here, what I said was, and then I'm going to take my leave. It was detrimental for me to go over to Jack's because I can't talk with Jack or anyone else here about truth and philosophy without the rest of you hens starting 4 broadcasts and projecting lies onto people and playing power games and spinning and twisting. And if you haven't noticed, I've backed away from all of it as much as possible. And when I make my reappearances certain places, like the beluga whale that I am, the metaversal beluga whale, you see me come up for air and make an appearance some places sometimes, and we have to get the harpoons out, right? I'm done with it. I stay in my area. I do what I do. I appear certain places to a limited degree for a certain conversation. And when that's not happening, I disappear back into the deep blue sea, right? Just the way that it is. Has to be that way for me right now.
I think that's an apt
That makes
analogy.
sense.
Yeah, I'm just done with it. Like we're 3 to 5 years into now spinning and twisting and power gaming with complete mental cases.
Yes.
Who have created nothing.
Paul, I want to congratulate you because
Thank you, sir.
I've seen that.
Congratulations, Paul. You've created nothing. You say others have created nothing. You're all talk. You hop on a show and you take over. You're a big loudmouth and you yap, 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 yap. You haven't created anything in life. What have you created? Nothing. Nothing. I've created an empire. You haven't created jack shit. Shit. You're a big beluga. You're a big loudmouth.
You're kind of stepping back, and in doing so, maybe you're not getting, as much interaction with the positive feedback. So I've seen it, and I agree, man. That's what you need. It's not healthy to be like Tommy. He's a great example of don't be that like that. Don't be so angry all the time, man.
Yeah.
Or just own the position.
Sorry.
Like, is he even in touch with the fact that he half the time says, Jack, we're friends, but we're not friends because you did this and you said that? He's literally coming from a wounded position where he wants to be seen and heard and understood. Big, because then you could point to him and go, look at this tard who is completely hopeless, and look at how much progress he's made having access to Jack, the second coming Christ. Great. If that works out, there may be some truth to that, right? Again, where there's a will, there's a way, and there's God's will within all of us. So if your will is to show some kind of love and care for these people, regardless of how they show up and what they say to you, well, then God bless you. Stick to it and see how it goes. I attempt to do the same thing in my own way, but I'm not going to tolerate the rest of this crap beyond a certain point. It's just way too dysfunctional and unproductive and detrimental to one's own beingness on some level, right?
Hey, it is. And if I can, before you take off, I'd love if we can change things.
There's Beluga Polly right there. Beluga Polly, I love my beluga self. And look who's at the end. Jack's favorites, OTW, Polly. Some of the 2 biggest, a couple of the biggest snakes in the panelverse. Paul, OTW. He just needed a few others on there, and it would have been perfect. They always stick with the same ones. I got kicked off the show. I got kicked off after I defended myself against OTW and Polly. Jack always goes back to keeping his favorites, and that's how he ends the show. I got kicked off, everybody got kicked off, except the creepiest of the creeps. The most two-faced, narcissistic, Team Evil losers are kept on. Of course, it makes sense. Makes sense in the panelverse. That's who they choose. That's what they choose. Oh, what's this? I'm going to reload it. 28 subscribers. It's the Bextra Large Show. It's the Bextra Large Show. Have you joined this channel yet, everyone? Bextra Lard. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty funny. That seems like her. Right here. It's the Bextra Large Show. It's the Bextra Large Show. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at her. Just look at her. Look at this. Look at this cartoon cupcake. Look at this cartoon cupcakes. She's cupcaking. She's cupcaking. It's the Bextra Large Show. It's the Bextra Large Show. Her hair's looking pretty oily and greasy there. Very oily and greasy. Isn't it? Take a look at that. Look at the face, the look of misery, and then when it's getting praised at the end, it's smiling and soaking it up from Polly. It looks like the lost and found at the Goodwill glasses. All right? So I think you should join this channel. Check out this channel on YouTube. I think you should join it. Description: I'm a foodie and I love to chain smoke cigarettes and talk a lot of trash. I don't shower very often. Oh, Bex, we know that. I live on YouTube. I won't be squished. I got the shoulders for this. And this is my greasy life. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And it's getting some views. 83 views. It's a brand new channel, it looks like. It looks to be brand new. It's got the big, wide brick wall. Brick wall, the masonry. But there's a cockroach there on it. There's a cockroach on that wall by Bextra Lard. I wonder if she has cockroaches coming out of her orifices. That nasty fucking creature, that sick, psychotic beast.
Not the meanies on Twitter.
How many more lawsuits are you going to face from women that you allegedly secretly recorded during intimate moments, Destiny? I can't believe anyone takes you.
When I heard Destiny got demonetized, I didn't lose any sleep over it. So now we're going to react to him debating on Piers Morgan over saying something absolutely terrible about Charlie.
Debate call out I'd do in 2026 with "Don't dodge, bro." That's not what Charlie would have wanted. I mean, do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes. I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. We are...
Oh my gosh, I'm going to crash out. He said conservatives need to turn the temperature down on our side. After we just had not even a politician, but a YouTuber get shot in the neck. What is wrong with this man? What on earth?
10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. All of the recent political violence that's happened in this country over the past 20 years, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority of it, everybody gets mad because they keep asking Grok about it, has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
white
dude.
described...
He wasn't trans. He didn't have
Destiny.
a trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry. Excuse me. When?
Yesterday, he said that.
No. When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college?
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know.
What you just said
I do know
true.
the very reasonable sounding governor of Utah has made it clear that the
he hasn't made it
you may
clear.
not want
He
to
said
hear
this is
this.
an ongoing investigation.
You may not want to hear it, Destiny, but the reality is.
Destiny reminds me of the panel verse. Beta bitch boy, a cuck boy that interrupts and talks over and is emotional. And he's got that voice You know the voice, the G voice, G-A-Y voice. And he's bisexual. He let his former wife sleep around with other men. It's disgusting. This is the way liberals are, and I don't care. Some of you will say it's not all of them. It doesn't have to be every single one. It doesn't have to be 100%. It's way too many. It's millions that are fucked up like that. So yes, there is a problem with liberals. And America would be better off if they were all floated away. And the Negroes.
The investigators, according to the governor of Utah,
Segregation would be a good thing for regular white people.
have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder one of the shut up Charlie Kirk. Would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say,
You have got to be kidding me. He won't condemn somebody being shot in the neck. Like, now he's going to change the topic. What is wrong with you? These people are always into such weird things.
all of us need to calm down.
So
The
you
fact
won't
that he
condemn
can go
the
on
murder of
Fox and
Charlie
Friends-
Kirk
I'm
until
just-
Donald Trump says
Here's-
something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade.
Yeah, you've been turning up the temperature. He wouldn't condemn his former wife for fucking other men. And this is what we're dealing with.
What are you, a child?
Contingent on Donald Trump.
Let me
Why
ask
is
you a
that?
question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the
Destiny. Let me just.
What are you, a child?
You have a huge audience, and because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you
your
have
brain
a
has been
responsibility
broken by
to
all-
to
who
say.
has more
So
young
when
men
you,
following
it
him?
doesn't matter.
Who
You
has
have a
more young-
huge
it doesn't
audience,
matter.
and because
This
of
is
the
the
fact that you
world
have a
I'm
huge
living in,
audience,
and
you
your
have
brain
a
has been
responsibility
broken by
to not
online
turn.
rhetoric.
No,
And
it
your
hasn't.
brain
It
has
hasn't been
been
broken. I actually
destroyed
care
because
about the
people
country
bully you on
and want to bring
Twitter.
people together.
If
You do
then
the
you should tell
opposite.
Donald.
Sounds like the panelverse, doesn't it? Now watch this guy. He seems like the panelverse on YouTube. The ones that cover their face, hide who they are, like Demon Slayer and others. An anonymous little cowardly incel. Antifa. This is what they seem like on YouTube. Lefties on YouTube. Little anonymous cowards.
Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're a very beautiful man.
He's lying, says he's a big fan. They start off with lies. Lefties think lies are funny. Look at his shirt covered in buttons. Look at how he's got his face covered. What a creepy little incel weirdo. And that's what most of them are on YouTube. The little trolls, that's what they are. They're like him. They're losers. Little Antifa losers, masked up, hiding, anonymous, and then they start off with lies. They're not funny. They're just creepy, degenerate, incel losers. Low T. They're not masculine whatsoever. They can't even want to get their voice. They have to hide their voice. They have to use AI because they're creepy little weaklings, little cockroaches.
Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're a very beautiful man. I admire you physically. Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're a very beautiful man. I admire you physically. But no homo. No homo. No homo. I did have a question. Something I don't find very interesting about you, something I find kind of repulsive, is that I believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Okay. Well,
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though.
First of all, what's your name?
Sorry. I don't want to be like filmed and stuff.
Too late.
I'm anonymous, number one. Anonymous guy.
Okay. Well, hello. Nice to meet you, anonymous guy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. I believe in part of the essence of the Civil Rights Act went way too far, way too wide.
Oh, how did it go too far?
Well, for example, it created an entire civil rights leviathan that gave us affirmative action.
Civil rights leviathan? What do you mean?
He said not. He's anonymous. I think this is Demon Slayer. I think this is Demon Slayer covering his face and trying to disguise his voice. Look at how scrawny this little guy is. He's just a little weakling. I think that might be Demon Slayer. That's why he hides. He's just a scrawny, weak little guy. Aww. Aww, is that Demon Slayer? Aww.
Yeah, so if you can let me finish three words in.
Sorry.
It allowed the Department of Justice to go after people that have different skin color, aka white people, and prevent them from getting jobs in college admissions.
You have a job.
I'm sorry?
You have a job.
No, you're right, I do. Right. But just until Trump came around, until the Supreme Court decision, thanks to the Civil Rights Act, if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin.
They always say stuff, they think they're pointing out something, and it's like, you have a job. Yeah, he does, yeah. It'd be like one of them saying to me, you have money. Yeah, what's your point? They're not socialized. Look at this thing. Does he have painted fingernails and little girly rings on and a little bracelet? Yeah, he's a girly boy. Look at it, he's got this jewelry on, is that a bracelet or something around his wrist or arm? Right there. And then it looks like painted fingernails and a little ring, and is that a little earring in his ear? Oh, he's a little girly boy. Demon Slayer. That's him. Because he can't show his face. That must be him. And the guy to the right side of the screen making the lips going to the side, that's a thing that I've noticed Gen Z does. Moving the mouth, the lips that way, nervously. A lot of them have real nervous issues. You should just try to be more feminist. That'll really help you. What is with these bracelets they're wearing? What is that? The hell is that? Both of them there have them on. Are they buddies? Are they boyfriends or something? Look at this.
Skin color, much harder. You have to get higher test scores. It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act. Not to mention all the trans stuff, and they use the Civil Rights Act to justify it.
Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. So you think that it's harder for white people because of black people they could have lower tech scores again? Because
It's not what I think. It's
okay.
the fact.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. Well, I guess what I would say too. I think perhaps you're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different people have different circumstances.
It's
which leads them to
Marxism.
different outcomes.
I reject
Okay. Well, whether you reject it or not, I think it's a prescient concept in this argument. Because what you have to understand is that when for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like O Block or something, like a very, very, like a, you don't know what O Block is? Oh, well, if you're born there, if you're born in a very poor area like that, with like very low economic opportunity, very, very poor schools with very low ratings, where the average test score is much lower, when you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right? So when you say in that kind of circumstance, when you're facing the whole, I guess, leviathan of systemic racism,
So-
would you say that? Sorry, let me just finish it. When you say it's fair to, for example, lower the standard because knowing that their circumstances were like that, perhaps based on what they had, what was presented to them, they had the correct amount of merit to get into a school.
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give your GPA to her because she's a woman of color, please?
Oh, well, you want me to give you a... Well, I mean, I can.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
You'd be good. You cool with that?
Yeah,
So-
I'm fine. Wait, you mean
I want you.
like tell her or like
no,
give it to her?
by force.
Like we're swapping it.
Let me tell you what I'm going to
Okay.
do. By force, white man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to take your GPA. I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
There's no working
Hey,
back
bro,
up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No,
What do
there's
you
no
mean?
working back up.
What do you mean you can't work back
you're
up? That's the
only-
whole point of conservatism,
no,
isn't it?
I'm going to keep on taking
Oh,
it from you because that's equity.
yeah.
And you're cool with that.
What? But
'Cause
that's not
this is equity in practice.
Equity isn't taking. Equity is applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must first be taken.
Well, what's being taken?
Well, in this case, grades from you to grades
But
to her.
no one's taking my grades though. That's not what affirmative
it's
action
called,
is.
well, hold on a
no
second.
one takes your grades.
Hold on a second. If you
Yeah,
only have
yeah,
so many,
oh.
you only have so many positions at University of South Florida to come in, right? There's a set number. Let's say it's 20,000 people, okay? And we're gonna say we're gonna lower the test standards so that somebody that's a woman of color can come in, and then.
Why is he wearing a tea towel, this Antifa loser? Imagine being like that. Part of it is because he's wimpy and weak, so they try to join something. Over his shoulder is kind of a cute-looking girl next door. Would he ever date a girl like that? No, I don't think so. I think he's a loser. And I think it's just like some in the panelverse, like Demon Slayer and others, that hide their voice, their face, their name. They're like this guy. They're wimpy little incel, little loser, little coward. He's a little coward. Look at the little cowardly boy. Aw. And he's in college. He's not in high school. He's in college. He looks like a little 13-year-old coward. But he's a college student.
It's harder for you. So it's a higher bar for you, lower bar for them. Definitionally, that's a redistribution of test scores to somebody else, just by the definition. And you're okay with that?
Well, I guess I would ask then, if we were to do what you're doing, I guess that's what's happening under Trump, right?
Well, no, it's actually been happening the last 40 years.
Okay, actually, yeah, whatever. Okay, so when you say that, if you do that, then, well, black people aren't going to get into school, and then they won't be able to uplift themselves. They won't be able to have prosperous families. They won't be able to, equalize the economic status, because you need to give them a little jump start. You know what? You have a car, right?
How is that? Well, no, now I know who you are.
No, it's good.
But no, how has that worked the last 40 years? We've had robust affirmative action.
No.
We've had hiring practices. Has it made black America more successful?
I can answer that easily. It's because It's because
he's so socially awkward, and that's why I think some of these incels on YouTube hate me. It's out of envy and jealousy. They say, "Oh, he can't be that confident. He can't speak like this and do this," because they can't even come on my show and use their voice. They're afraid, just like this guy and Demon Slayer. He's got to hide his face and disguise himself. He's a coward. They don't have any backbone. They don't have any confidence. He's a loser.
Sorry, what am I going for?
I don't know.
You're a funny guy. So what happened is, even after the civil, it's because sorry, what am I going for?
I don't know.
It's because sorry, what am I going for?
I don't know.
You're a funny guy. You're a funny.
So he's laughing like a Halloween witch, and he's moving around very effeminate way, and look at his hands, his body language. It's very effeminate. It's a soy boy. I think that's Demon Slayer. I think that's Demon Slayer right there. He's a little witchy soy boy. A little femboy, little soy boy.
You're a funny guy. So what happened is, even after the Civil Rights Act, you know what you're a funny guy. So what happened is, even after the Civil Rights Act, you know what I believe the term is massive resistance. It was a movement in after the Brown versus Board of Education in Virginia, where essentially the legislature, which was still white supremacist, which is still extremely racist, they decided that no, we're going to do everything that feasibly possible within our means to stop black people from going to white schools. You even see this in I believe it was the Little Rock Nine, right? Even after it was legalized at the state level, white supremacist mobs still mobilized to prevent it. So even if it de facto it's gone, de jure it still exists.
Let me ask you a very simple question.
Yeah.
A term you keep on throwing around.
Got you.
What is racism?
What is racism? Ooh, that's a very complicated question. But
no, it's not.
I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's the highly theoretical answer.
Give me the simple.
The simple answer will essentially be because we have like different skin colors, that he's treated a different way than me. He has like a different upbringing than me.
No. But what is
He's subjected to
racism in practice?
It's discrimination
based on the color of the skin.
Based on the color of the skin. Yeah.
Got it.
It's just socially awkward and so fucking weird. And that thing's not the only one. It's a whole generation of them. They're gender confused. Look how scrawny he is. Look at the little toothpick arms on him. He doesn't have any arms. Look at the tiny little hands. He's got little girly hands with rings. That watch, I mean, look at the watch. Look at this. Skin color. It's probably a communist or a Marxist. Talks about skin color. Skin color.
No. But what is
He's subjected to
racism
different
in practice?
It's discrimination.
Based-
Because we have like different skin colors. 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 Because we have like different skin colors that he's treated a different way than me. Because we have like different skin colors that he's treated a different way than me. He has like a different upbringing than me.
No. But what is
He's subjected to
racism
different
in practice?
It's discrimination.
Based on the color of
based
skin.
on the color.
See, when I was his age, I was more interested in girls than in politics, and I wouldn't have been interested in Antifa and all of this commie shit. I'd be more interested in the two girls behind him that he doesn't even notice. But that's Gen Z right there, summed up. They're more like this thing on the screen with his face covered. I think that's Demon Slayer, though. I think we finally found him. I think that's Demon Slayer from YouTube. I think that's him. He's a wimpy little guy, and he has to cover his face and hide, and he's got little toothpick arms, and he's not interested in girls, and he wants to defend anybody with a different skin color, and he's just an absolute loser. He's a cowardly little loser.
Got it. Thank you. So isn't it racist then to then penalize white people to come based on the color of skin?
Based on the color of the skin, yeah.
Based on the. But what is
He's subjected to
racism
different.
in practice?
It's
But what is
he's subjected to
racism
different.
in practice?
It's
But what is
he's subjected to
racism
different.
in practice?
It's discrimination.
Based on the color of skin.
Based on the color of the skin, yeah.
Got it. Thank you. So, but what is
He's subjected to
racism
different.
in practice?
It's discrimination.
Based on the color of skin.
Based on the color of the skin, yeah.
Got it. Thank you. So isn't it racist then to then penalize white people to come into college or to get jobs based on the color of their skin?
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be racist? So you're arguing for a very racist policy, which is that we should actively discriminate against people based on the color of their skin, which is affirmative action in DEI in practice.
I just disagree with the premise that you can do like anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers here, bro. No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers. No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers here, bro. There's your
Sounds like a little troll. Sounds like Demon Slayer. Something Demon Slayer would say. Just my solution is float them away. They're irredeemable. You can't fix them. You can't quote unquote educate them. They're just creepy demonic creatures. Okay? You can't fix them.
clip, bro. There's your clip. Well, what are you gonna do political violence to me, bro? Like what, bro? What the? No, you can't be racist towards white, bro. Because.
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the? No, you can't be racist towards white, bro. There's so many crackers here, bro. There's your clip, bro. There's your clip. Well, what are you gonna do political violence to me, bro? Like, why are you saying that to me? You're making me scared. Okay.
So let me tell you what we believe, because you tell us what you believe.
Okay.
Your worldview is indistinguishable from the KKK. That you want to organize the world based on skin color. We want to organize the world based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic. I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities?
Most people are tribalistic except for white people, at least currently. They were in the past, and maybe they will be again, but currently white people are not. But other races are. Asians are. Blacks are very tribalistic. And so are Hispanics. But I would say blacks are the most tribalistic.
divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question. Well, how are we going to...
By blacks, I mean Negroids. I mean a race, not a skin color. I mean a race. It's a word that a lot won't use, like Charlie Kirk didn't want to use. He'd rather say skin color than race. They want you to believe that race is just skin color. And it's so much more than that. But they don't want you looking into that far.
It is divisive, and I think it hurts. I think it's tribalistic. What you bring to the table. That you want to organize the world based on skin color. We want to organize the world based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic, I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities? Stop pandering to them and start treating them like individuals made in the image of God, not tribes to be organized for political purposes.
Okay, so do you think, like, when Trump is now he's president, now that racism is gone now because Trump is back and we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that the conditions of black people, of like, do you think O Block is going to become like a much nicer place? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
Do you think they're going to do better? Now that we've stopped helping them, they're going to do better.
We'll see.
Listen to this creature. He's so concerned about black communities. And he's anti-white. Could never trust a creature like that. And they don't change either. Some of you have this false hope that, oh, they could be that against their own race, but they could change. You're delusional. They never do. So keep on dreaming. You can care for them so much that you end up here with them. You're anchoring yourself to this realm. Go ahead and feel sorry for demons like that. It helps keep you here. Dummies. All right, I'm going to skip through this a little bit. I don't know if he's copyrighted it or not, but he made this video after he was on my live stream show as a guest. He was treated well. I was cordial and gentle with him, with young Landry. And then he made this. I think he's in love with me. I think he's in love with me. I think Landry's in love with me. He also wanted me to be on camera. Hold on a second, just a second. So he wrote this yesterday. I think it was a few hours before the live stream, but I only saw it in 3 hours after it was posted. And it showed 3 hours ago. I don't always check my comments or new comments on videos. But he wrote this comment in a video. Steven, will you cam up tonight? It's almost like a guy asking a chick for special pictures or nudes or something. It's weird, dude. It's weird for a grown man to want to see me on camera. Will you cam up tonight? I'm not a cam girl. I'm not your boyfriend. So I said, I have a girlfriend. I wrote back to him, I have a girlfriend. I already have a girlfriend. I don't need you as my girlfriend. I already have a girlfriend, dude. It's like he wants to be my girlfriend. It's weird. He's namas gay. Very namas gay. Will you cam up tonight? Please cam up, Steven. Why do you want to see me on camera so badly? You want to look at me? Freaking pervert, weirdo. I have a girlfriend already, Landry. I don't need another girlfriend. You got that? You catch on to that?
Protect this audience and Steven while he passes out sleeping in front of the keyboard, because this is a hell realm and he's obviously from another world.
I mentioned that I fell asleep on Paul's and was snoring, and he thinks, oh, I got him. This doesn't get me at all. I don't care. I'm recorded all over YouTube falling asleep. Big deal. That's the only time Paul can think he dominates me, is when I'm asleep and snoring. Otherwise, he has to kick me. He's a coward. Your big hero, Paulie boy, Paulina, is a big fat coward. He's a loser.
Queen Stephen and the others may be onto something when they call it a hell realm, right? I prefer to think of it as a neutral purgatorial place where folks come to get tested and challenged and to learn.
They mock what they don't understand, and they just spew the same stuff, get tested and challenged. It's a learning school. We've all heard this millions of times. Only dummies repeat the same stupid, empty arguments. And dummies mock things they don't understand. Instead of investigating to see if it's true or not, they mock it. Weak-minded mock intelligent beings. Research, study, investigate, think, ponder, look at the evidence. Landry's a weak-minded fool. He's a zombie. I'm going to check out the comments here. DeFreak makes all kinds of assumptions. Haven't seen it, about to search for it, but let me guess. And he says let me instead of let me. Of course he does. Loaded questions, not given the chance to answer. Given the loaded questions, talked down to, backstaged, called cockroach, and then blocked. And I say all within 10 minutes at most. Vanity then proceeds to the whole most of the time as content about him via you. I don't even know what he's talking about. Well, now, let's go prove ourselves wrong again. At DeFreak. Tagging himself. And he's a member over there. That's his retarded audience. All right, let's go do that then. Okay, bye. Like, this is so weird. He's talking to himself. And then Peter Steele's Ghost responded, Stephen gave Landry an hour on his stream, which Landry couldn't even complete before running away like a dog with his tail between his legs. And then Landry replied, nah, he was pretty cordial, actually, DeFreak. It's one of the first true things that Landry's ever said, that I was cordial. I didn't do anything that DeFreak assumed. This is what they do. Of course, this video has an ad on it, essentially proving Stephen correct in his assessment of you and other demons laughing to tears. Peter Steele's Ghost. Awesome, thank you.
Learn more about themselves, and they get an opportunity. Challenge. And to learn more about them, to get tested and challenged. And folks come to get tested and challenged. And to learn more about themselves, and they get an opportunity.
Is that what children with leukemia and brain cancer come here for? To suffer, to learn more about themselves, to get tested and challenged, not to suffer needlessly, but to get tested, challenged, and learn more about themselves. That's the mainstream 70 IQ review. That's where you're at, Paul. You're at a low level. He was in the special ed classroom in school, he's admitted. Paulie was special ed. He wasn't in the advanced gifted program like I was.
Think of it as a neutral purgatorial place where folks come to get tested and challenged and to learn more about themselves, and they get an opportunity. We're helping Queen Stephen and others to level up. We're going to go to...
Where's your argument other than repeating Queen Stephen, Queen Stephen? You call others childish and immature, but that's you. That's you, Paulie. That's you, Landry. That's the panel verse. They are what they accuse me of. That's you. You're immature and childish and weak. You don't have arguments. You don't have any arguments against my model. 0 arguments.
Sleep. You got all night, like even to like 2, 3, even. You got all night, like even. You got all night, like even to like 2, 3, even. You got all night, like.
Paulie got so emotional talking about me, he couldn't even speak. He was stumbling over his words, going, who are you, my mother or father? You don't set my bedtime. I'll sleep when I sleep. Why would you be concerned about when I sleep? You got all night, and it's just like, dude, I'll sleep when I want. I battled insomnia long before the panel verse. Long before I saw any panel verse, not part, but before I saw any panel verse channels. It's called insomnia. They They make up shit. They never seek the truth. Just like they say he calls himself El Diablo without knowing where that character comes from, and that he's the mascot for my channel. They know nothing, but this is what demons do. That's why I call them demons. They make up lies. They lie. They assume wrongly. They try to control everything, how many coffees you drink, if you sleep. They're fixated on what I drink, what I eat, when I sleep. You're not part of my life. What do you care when I sleep or how much I sleep? Control freak, narcissistic, demonic creatures, and they prove my point with their words and behavior. They show that I'm correct. I'm winning, and they're the lying losers.
Level up. We're gonna go to sleep. You know, you got all night. Like even we're gonna go to sleep. We're gonna go to sleep. You know, you got all night. Like even to like 2, 3 even. Stay up, watch movies, eat s'mores, camp out with your little friends in the treehouse. Just get to bed by 2 or 3. Can you get that done? No, you can't. You know why? Because you're an anxious, depressed, pathetic slave who hates themselves and their life in this world, and you don't want to live.
Oh, if I didn't want to live, I wouldn't be here. I don't hate myself, and I don't hate this world. You just make up shit. This is what they do. They don't study somebody's research. They just slander their character and make up shit saying you hate yourself, you hate this, you stay up, you do. They just make up shit. You're a loser, Polly. You hate yourself. You're projecting.
I want to ask is, was Charlie Kirk a racist? Was Charlie Kirk a racist? And a lot of people will say, want to ask is, was Charlie Kirk a racist? Was Charlie Kirk a racist? And a lot of people will say, no, man, Charlie Kirk wasn't a racist because Charlie Kirk didn't even believe in race. And that makes Charlie Kirk a racist because if Charlie Kirk don't believe in race, he can't use words like black violence. All right, let me see. The court, was Charlie Kirk a racist? Does anyone want to call in and answer that? So my answer is yes, he was a racist, and he was like one of the most dangerous kinds. And I'm going to show you why, because what is a racist by definition? Let's break it down. A racist is characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. If you telling me that Charlie Kirk didn't do that, you're a blind fool. He showed prejudice toward the people who were a member of the particular racial group called black. He prejudged the entire race based upon what a few ignorant niggas did. Now, everybody know the white man is the one that created the proverb, one bad apple spoiled a whole bunch. Was he talking about himself though? Or was he putting that on indigenous people? Because the white man never let one bad apple spoil his whole bunch. When a white boy do something stupid, white America said they don't say we got to do something about white men and they violence. They said we got to do something about that crazy ass individual. If Charlie Kirk don't generalize with his own race, but he generalizes with black people and anybody he hate, and this is how you know I'm right. Charlie Kirk ain't the only one to right do this too. They doing it now. If they can prove that one leftist did a shooting, they blame it on all leftists. Just like when Cornel West was on the show with Piers Morgan, he was saying, listen, I don't mean you no harm. I don't want you dead. So why are you saying leftists? Well, want you, out the way, or leftists are dangerous. See, it's the same mentality of the far right saying black men are dangerous. Black violence is out of hand. They like to group everybody in one bucket, but they don't want you to do that with white people. They don't want you to do that with the right. Charlie Kirk spent his whole career doing that. That's what he did. So that's my whole point right there. By the definition, he was. He did show prejudice against a particular racial group. Also, like when people say, tell me where Charlie Kirk lied, where did he lie at? Black people ain't saying he was telling lies on us. We was saying he ain't telling the truth on his own people. It ain't just what you saying, it's what you not saying too. So he wanted to kick the can on white violence all the way up until the point where he was murdered by a white man. And he died speaking on black violence. That was the hypocrisy. That's the lesson. So racism don't mean, like people may say, well, everything Charlie Kirk said about the black man was true. So why don't he tell the truth about the white man too? That the white man is a colonizer, the white man is a pillager, a crusader, invader.
Colonizer. The white man is a colonizer, pillager, invader, crusader. This is the way most blacks see white people, not just this guy, Bro Sanchez, this cartoon character named Bro Sanchez.
Peace and love, everybody. If you passionate about connecting with ancestral knowledge and challenge.
Peace and love, everybody. Send Bro Sanchez some money. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Peace and love. Really? Send him money. He wants your shekels. He wants you to join his membership shit club and send him Cash App money and super chats during his live streams. He does this for money, and he's anti-white. He's not just against Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was not a racist. Not at all.
Why don't he tell the truth about systematic racism in the country? It ain't, see, when people hit me with well, he was telling the truth about black people, but he wasn't telling the truth about white people. We telling the truth about black people all the time. It ain't like black people ain't telling the truth about ourselves. We the most honest people. We would tell you, yeah, man, our hoods is fucked up. It's violent. We got it out. We'll admit that. We don't need the white man to help us tell the truth about ourselves. We need him to tell the truth about himself, like we doing. You see how that works? If everybody tell the truth about themselves, it'll set everyone free. Yeah, we don't need Charlie Kirk telling black people about our conditions that is being perpetuated by systemic measures, systematic oppression. We got entire rap songs telling you about our condition. But what about the white man? When he ever gonna rap about how he was hanging us? Is he ever gonna put it out there that yes, and own up to his history and his conditions and the conditions that he's created for others that he liked to talk about a lot, but not bringing up the fact he's responsible for those conditions, and I'll debate anybody on that. This is what racist does. You don't think that man was a racist because he didn't do nothing but tell the truth about black people. Yeah, when you tell the half truth, it's just like telling a lie. That's why when you go to court, they say you're going to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Telling the half truth is like telling a lie, y'all. It's just like you told a lie. Half truth. So was he a racist? Hell yeah. If you can't see that, you fell for a simple trick. You're green. And I think you want to be green. You want to be dumb as hell. And that's dangerous, man. We don't need niggas playing dumb, bro. Y'all know that man was racist. Another aspect of racist is just being for your race. Being for your race first. That's racism. That's practicing racism. If you saying, hey, I want my race on top, that's a form of racism as well. It ain't all just about being prejudiced and discriminating, because the whole concept of racism is if you want your people at the top, you got to discriminate. You got to be prejudiced. You got to make it harder for the other group and easier for yours. And that's when the systematic measures come in. So who's been more divisive with this story? Well, you got to think. The right is using this to wage war against the left, to literally engage into a civil war. And the left is on the defense saying, listen, it wasn't even the leftist shooter. The guy was a MAGA. They finding out that the shooter was right wing and that he was MAGA. At first, they thought he was left wing, but
do you believe he was right wing and MAGA? I mean, listen to this. Listen to this liar. They'll do anything for money. They'll do anything to lie, to spin things. He's a dishonest lefty. And most YouTubers that call themselves truthers, that run channels, are lefties. They're liberals, they're lefties. Most of them lean that direction. There's almost none that are right wing. Almost none anywhere that you'll find. They're more like this guy. Or they're anti-white, or both. They're lefty, anti-white. And this is just the way they are. Like, people are following absolute liars and calling them truth channels and truthers. You know who's a fan of Bro Sanchez? OTW. And he got upset earlier when I called him out and said, are you a fanboy? Are you a fan of Bro Sanchez? Because he sent his stream over there as a raid. OTW sent his fucking shit stream over there to join. He's a fan of this guy. That's the level they're at. The liar OTW is a fan of this creature here.
But they were saying they can't prove no political affiliation. But what we need to be talking about is that the fact they finding out that the shooter was right wing and that he was MAGA. At first, they thought he was left wing, but they were saying they can't prove no political affiliation. They finding out that the shooter was right wing and that he was MAGA. At first, they thought he was left wing, but they were saying they can't prove no political affiliation. But what we need to be talking about is that the fact his mom and dad are registered Republicans, and that's what they raised, y'all. So us back, and he also with the SB Bill 771, he's targeting.
I appreciate you having me, Brother Sanchez. Yeah, I mean, I think he was programmed to be racist, Charlie Kirk. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I think all of them are Neuralink. I know people probably think she's always saying Neuralink, but I mean, if you really look at it and you really research that Neuralink thing, I mean, it's really been, ever since in the 90s, probably even before that. We have a population, a generations of Neuralinked up people, and it is everywhere in politics, in Hollywood, in the community. And I think we have to open our eyes
Say
and
one thing.
recognize that what's
Yeah,
going on.
these gang members aren't Neuralink. You don't got a Neuralink to make someone be a racist. People will gladly be that in America. Look around you. People be divisive, without the Neuralink. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you don't
Okay, I
need that
understand
to
that.
make a white man hate a black man in America. You don't need Neuralink. I'm just saying. But yeah, go.
Listen to this. He believes that white men hate black men in America. They're so insecure. There's no way to fix them. They're paranoid. They're neurotic. They're insecure. They see racism everywhere. They think every white person hates them. They think every white man's a racist. There's no way to fix them. There's no fixing this. It's going to get worse. So for you that are stuck on bullshit thinking we're going to fix them, they're going to change them, most of them hate you for being white. And that's what you should come to terms with. I don't know if you will in your lifetime. Hopefully they don't harm you, but you're more at risk of being harmed if you're walking around like a zombie believing, oh, they don't hate us. Well, they openly hate you and they speak about it. All over YouTube. He took a poll asking if Charlie Kirk was racist. It was about 78% of his audience that said yes. It was almost 80% when I tuned into this and looked. So you don't have to understand, but I'm speaking the truth. Nobody's forcing you to understand anything, and I don't expect you to. I think there's a few people in this realm that will understand anything. Very few. Look at this. Man, Sanchez, a real one. Protect this brother. Good truth, bro. They love it. They love when a black calls whites racist. That's what black people love. You got to come to terms with that. This is the level they're at. They can't see right from wrong, truth from lies. They go by their feelings and they want to believe that they're victims and that white men are white devils and white men are bad. And most of them think this way. Now, a lot of you are just delusional. You're lying to yourselves. You'll say, no, they don't. It's just him. It's his whole audience. He has 150 or 146,000, almost 150,000 subs. Bro Sanchez TV channel, and it's verified with a check mark. Here's the join.
Peace and love, everybody.
Spend your money, recurring payment, membership club. Illuminated initiate, benevolent bishop. You can become a bishop in his cult. Sacred guide, divine sage, ascended master. Ascended master. Reminds me of near-death experiences with the entities that call themselves ascended masters and get you recycled. They get you recycled. This is perfect. He's recycling people with his bullshit and they're paying for it. There's the winged sun disk, Egyptian symbol right there that he uses. The winged sun disk, straight from Egypt, which he believes his people built, of course. He's a fool. He's foolish, full of ego. He doesn't care what the truth is.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I mean, the Charlie. Did we know Charlie Kirk before this incident? Before he got into politics? It's really been, ever since in the 90s, probably even before that. We have a population, a generations of Neuralinked up people, and it is everywhere in politics, in Hollywood, in the community. And I think we have to open our eyes
Say
and
one thing.
recognize that what's
Yeah,
going on.
these gang members aren't Neuralink. You don't got a Neuralink to make someone be a racist. People will gladly be that in America. Look around you. People be divisive, you know, without the Neuralink. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you don't
Okay, I
need that
understand
to
that.
to make a white man hate a black man in America. You don't need Neuralink. I'm just saying. But yeah, go
I
ahead.
hear that makes sense. That makes sense. But I mean, the Charlie. Did we know Charlie Kirk before this incident? Before he got into politics? What was his status before all of this? Oh, I'm saying, I mean, this Charlie Kirk. What was he always into politics previously? Why is it so crucial, this race war that they're trying to start?
You can't bring forth the level of control that they want to bring forth without a civil war. They want martial law. They want civil unrest. They want to take away the rights of Americans. It ain't about black or white. It ain't about left or right. It's about Americans versus a dictatorship. You know.
Wow.
So
I feel like it's just. I just feel like it's just really. I mean, isn't that enough of how we are today and how the politics are run? Isn't that enough?
what enough for what?
I mean, it's always they always want something more. It's always something more.
Oh
They're
yeah,
never
you just can't bring in martial law without a bunch of shit hitting the fan. So you're gonna need more. You're gonna need more. In other words, if you want to burn the house down, you're gonna need more gas.
Exactly. Okay, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Y'all importing shit on my territory, man, and y'all not paying the tax. Like you can make some money, but we got to eat. Y'all got to get that money up. So now what happens is what they allow, because of America's a consumerist place, everything go. So they got porn, booze, drugs, everything. Now watch this. This is the caveat to it. When you put everything together in a 360 and pay attention, this is why Charlie Kirk and them is full of shit. Because how can you be a conservative when you are funded by the people that are the greatest liberals that the world has ever known? Everything they do is liberal, but they shroud it, they hide it and code it with this conservative Christian religious bullshit.
You know, they use the Bible to justify putting themselves above everyone else.
However, hold on a second. This is a great embodiment of the American left. You can't debate, so you want to go to blows. You can't.
Now, what was the dude name that got beat with the baseball bat, but he had criticized Trump, so Trump was like, oh, by the way, how's your husband doing? He was trying to talk shit up. Yeah, the lady's husband who criticized Trump, right? Her husband got beat with a baseball bat, and Trump showed up at one of his.
Her husband got beat. That's it for this show, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care.